Hey guys, it is Friday, October 11th, 2024, and I'm back with some free VST plugins to help you with your musical adventures and endeavors. So we are continuing the month of October themed with free VST saturation and creative effect plugins. And of course, we're going to touch on two instruments after that, free VST instruments. So let's jump right into it, guys. The free VST plugins for today are as follows. So first up here we have Chow Tape from the developer Chow DSP. So they have Mac and Windows versions, and they also have iOS, I'm assuming for iPhone and iPad, and they also have a version available for Linux OS. So very widely accessible by multiple platforms, not just the two popular Windows and Mac. All right, so this one is a very, very good tape emulation plugin. There's a lot of sections and a lot of details. So this rivals some of the paid ones that are out there. The interface might trick you because it doesn't have all the fake imagery of tape reels spinning and all that other stuff. That kind of tricks people to think that those plugins work better, but this one is actually pretty effective, and just the level of detail and control that they give you allows you to really dial in some good tape features. So if you look through the interface, we have a section here for gain, and they have options for that. They have a filter section, stereo section, they have a tape section, comp, tone, and then you can deal with the loss section. So you can deal with how tape ages. So they have the loss section, the degrade section, they have a chew section, and that's all dealing with the quality of the tape and how it would react as it's degrading. And then over here, as usual, we have flutter and we have wow settings. So very detailed. They have oversampling down here, hysteresis mode, mix group. There's a lot of details under here. Presets. They have a settings cog right here. The interface is resizable, fully supported. They've been updating it. And like I said, it's pretty full-featured tape saturation plugin. So definitely check out Chow Tape Model from Chow DSP. Next up here we have Saturation Knob from SoftTube. SoftTube is a pretty popular company out there. They have a free offering with Saturation Knob. So it's pretty straightforward. One big knob. We have a switch here for 3 different modes: keep high, natural, keep low. Keep high rolls off the low, keep low rolls off a little bit of the high, natural keeps everything, saturates everything, and you just push that saturation knob. Don't overdo it. This one kind of favors the top end, mid highs and the highs, so things get a little bit shrill and harsh when you're cranking it, depending on what your source is and what you're going for, your audio sources and what you're going for, you dial it into taste. But this one is pretty straightforward. Next up, for the creative effects, we have Crush, which is essentially a bit crusher but it also has some other extra features built in. So this one does have a bit of saturation in there. So you can add some digital warmth and a little bit of drive. And then also we have an added modulation section that could be either free as far as the timing with milliseconds, or you can sync it to your DAW, to your project, and then have it set to a time signature, 1/8, 1/8 triplet, 1/4, 1/16, things of that nature. And then you can drive and modulate some of these parameters with the modulator based on the time signature or the milliseconds that you set in to give it a bit of randomness and movement with how the saturation and the different effects are being added and moving through, so that it's not just consistently staying at the same setting. It's changing very slightly or a lot, depending on how you dial in that saturation, how aggressive and how strong the saturation is. The modulation, I should say, how much you dial that in. So you can make it subtle, you can make it over the top. But essentially, it is a bit plusher. The interface seems to be resizable. It's pretty modern, very clean. And I know they've been updating it because the interface look has changed. They've cleaned it up a bit. So definitely check that one out. Next up, from Chow DSP, again, we have BYOD, which stands for Build Your Own Distortion. So this one is kind of like a guitar effect. I would say guitar effect emulation. I wouldn't say it's really like a full-on like cabinet, but it has a lot of those features in there. It has a lot of modules that you can add. Let me actually bring the plugin in so you can see it. So this is what the actual plugin looks like. It's resizable, and yeah, so it's resizable. And we have your input section and your output section. And you can just right click in the blank area here. And these are all the different categories of modules that you can add and see they have a lot here, a lot of options under drive, just to add some kind of drive. And then we have tone, we have amp, IRs, bass cleaner, bassman tone, so on and so forth. TS tone, treble booster, off tone, list goes on and on. Modulation, we have all these options: chorus, flanger, laser trem for a tremolo, panner, all the typical features you would see for guitar effects, stop, pedal, effect chain. We have utility section where we have clean gain, mixer, oscilloscope, stereo merger, stereo splitter, tuner. And then we have other, where you have compression, crying child, delay, envelope filter, gate, crusher. So once again, all typical effects that you would see in a guitar chain that you would want to see. And yeah, you just click to add what you want, drop it in there, and then you connect. And then now you add that to the signal chain, and you can add more modules within the signal chain. You can zoom out as it gets cluttered when you keep adding a lot. I think you can add stuff in parallel and serial. So this is serial, but then you can add stuff in parallel and then dial it in separately. Very, very fully functional. We have a mono stereo mode, left, right, input gain, output gain, dry, wet. Down here we have oversampling up to 16x, and of course there are presets. So this one is fully functional, and it's a great effect. Not just for guitar, you can use it on an EP, you can use it on your vocal, you know, if you're trying to get really creative, creative Vox. So that is BYOD. Next up here, we have instruments. So for the instruments today, we have Monster Bass, once again from Agos Hardiman with their Monster series, Monster DAW That's the name of the developer. And this one is straightforward, just bass. Bass suitable for just about all genres. So they have electric bass, synth bass, and acoustic bass. So all of the different typical like bread and butter bass sounds that you would want. Electronic stuff, synth stuff, and acoustic bass. So this is a rompler, sample-based rompler. So a lot of the stuff in here are samples, most of it. So you're gonna get very realistic sounds. And then with the interface, they play with the interface for the different presets to give you the style of bass that you're looking for. So a decent amount of presets here. And we have the typical ADSR section and an LFO section. So pretty decent bass rompler. Last up for today, we have Zoom Z Lite. This one is a synth for the most part. It's a light version of it. Has a lot of great keyboard sounds. And it has some presets. Let me see something here. I think I have it here to look at. So this is the interface. This one is not resizable, but I just wanted to show presets. They have presets here. My screen is pretty tiny because it's a high resolution monitor. But there's 15 presets here, if I remember correctly. So they have keyboard sounds, lead sounds, and pad sounds. Pretty good sounds. Some nice sounds for like your main sound, and also some very good secondary supporting sounds to kind of layer and pad and add atmosphere and texture. Very interesting set of sounds. And with the interface, you have your basic ADSR. They have built-in effects, chorus, distortion, delay, and reverb. So with all these things, they mix them up to give you very interesting, inspirational presets. So right off the bat, you choose a preset and you'll get a nice vibe, get some inspiration from the sounds. I was checking them out earlier, and they have some pretty good usable sounds, both for your main sounds and, like I said before, supporting sounds. So definitely check out those plugins, guys. The list is in the description. It'll take you to this blog page where you can check out the info here. You can also click on the corresponding download links for each plugin. Check them out, add them to your arsenal, and see how they work out for you. Also, there's a link in the description for my video series on PC specs and how it relates to music production. So if you're looking to get a new rig, upgrade your current rig, get your first computer set up for music production, that series will help you understand where to spend your money, what's important, what does it all mean, how does your CPU and its cores affect your DAW, how do they all work together, RAM, CPU, GPU, cores, your audio interface, MIDI interface, how it all works together, and how one affects the other and affects your music production, so you can figure out what's the best system that you need to get, where you need to spend your money to help get a system that's going to support your workload and your workflow. All right. So also there is a link in the description for a growing playlist for these videos that I do twice a week. So if you're looking for more free VST plugins, definitely check out that playlist. There's tons more videos there. I think it's over 300. So if you're looking for more free VST plugins, instruments, utilities, effects, it's all there. And I think that's about it. She'll be back next week to continue the series next Tuesday, to continue the theme of October 2024 being free saturation plugins and free creative plugins. Some weird effects, but good effects for creative purposes. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, you will see me in the next video.